So good evening, guys. Welcome to IX Growth Trainings. My name is Sarah Shabbat. For those of you that have never seen me before, I know that this is two teams that are coming together. And we also have Eric Garrison, Doug Corbett, and a couple other leaders here with us tonight. I don't know if you guys want to say hi.
Hi.
I think I just did. So
Yeah. Thanks for having us on. It's great.
Well, thanks for doing this with me, guys. So a lot of you have been asking me what this is about and what we're doing tonight. And as you know, Eric was in Punta Cana. We were in Punta Cana at the Awaken trip, and we had a lot of time to spend together and talk and brainstorm. And we decided that we wanted to come together and bring our teams together for trainings just because we vibe so well together, and we felt like our teams would too. And we wanted to create some culture. I feel like we're really lacking culture here. We have so much corporate going on. We have so much Travis going on. We have so much debt box going on. But what has been lacking, if you ask us, has been that sense of community, that team, that community feeling. So we really wanted to start putting together something every Thursday night. It will be the same time, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're calling it IX Growth. We really want to start creating what is easy for you guys to duplicate so you can hear from other people that are having a lot of success. And we can teach what we're doing. We can also talk about current promotions and other things that are going on. We can open this up for questions and answers. It's not going to be a very long training. We'll probably try to keep them about 30 minutes. They may run to about an hour. We'll see what's going on. About once a month, we'll bring in a special guest trainer, have it be Travis or somebody else, and they'll bring some knowledge to it. But I think that this is going to be really good for us and our teams to come together and have that. We also were talking about creating, once this first training is over, a group messenger chat on Facebook that's going to be called IX Growth, so that we also have that line of communication for all of us as well. So Eric or Doug, do you want to add into any of what I said?
Yeah, I'll just kind of say my part. I absolutely agree, and I appreciate that, because as I've been in this now, going on 11 months, and what you're saying to me is a big missing part of what we're doing is the side where, it's one thing getting involved and getting things set up and got money moving with it and all that, but it's also the group, the community side, helping one another, being open to ideas, not competing against each other, but just as a place where everybody can get in and ask questions and talk, and we can address the new promotions, or we can do these things instead of everybody being individual. We're all working together as a big group through that same goal. And we've talked about this now for a while. This has been talked about, putting this on, and we just everything hasn't aligned right yet, but tonight it did. And I just welcome everybody here. And I know this is only going to get bigger and bigger as we go along, and we keep it, it's an open floor for everybody to discuss, and we can all talk about stuff and questions and things, and just know that we can keep it, very open to one another.
Yeah, that's one thing that I would just say. This isn't really just about more leaders talking at us, because as much as I said earlier, really appreciate the transparency and the consistent information every week from the leaders of both companies. But I really want this to be a place where we can get to know the people, everybody, where yes, Sarah's generously offered to host this and coordinate it, but it's really about everybody in the field. Why are you doing this? What questions do you have? And so we can learn from one another and get to know one another, because, one of the things for me that makes this really unique when I evaluate all kinds of packages or programs out there is the longevity of this. And I don't think I've looked at anything else where I can just relax and know that 10, 20 years from now, this will still be here. And that's really a unique quality, and something that I want to talk more about. What is the value of that? I don't think we're communicating that well enough to people.
Agreed.
Yeah, because if you think about, particularly in the United States, we're really we're a credit card nation. We're an instant gratification nation. It's not just about programs and ROI and all that. It goes way, which Travis talks a lot about. It's way beyond that. And we have some unlearning, a lot of unlearning to do. And I think, God, I was just listening to Mike and Rick again. Those guys crack me up. But, and also, reading, and I try to grab it when I can, the little quotes from Jason and the facts and the figures about how many wells there are and how many wells are coming online that they've already underwritten. They own now they own the satellites, they own the mines, they own the plants. I mean, it's what the infrastructure that they're building. It's just phenomenal. So I want to talk about that and what does it mean and how do we then communicate that in a way that it interests other people, to get involved and that sort of thing. So anyway, that's all I'll say for right now. Yeah, about that.
I feel like this would be a good time kind of open it up for if anybody has any questions before we kind of move on and talk about the promo that's been extended and how we can utilize that to grow our businesses. Because if you guys aren't aware, they extended that $500 package where you get 18 micronodes, and it's a killer deal because people are saving $400. And for those that maybe don't want to buy a full perpetual license, they don't have the means to do it yet, this is really a great way for people to get started and get that interest going. So I'll pause for a moment and see if there's anybody that wants to hop on. Any questions or even comments are welcome.
Can everybody mute?
Question.
Yeah, okay.
No, I think one of the difficult things I see is sometimes, I mean, as far as what I send people, sometimes I talk to people and they seem interested, and then I don't know, I'll send this video, I'll send that video, and then I don't know if it overwhelms them. I don't know if there's a certain video or something that you guys initially send to a new prospect, let's say, that seems to be really beneficial. Because I've tried different ones. Sometimes I'll get somebody that's really interested, and then I send them the video, and I don't know if it confuses them more, or they get afraid because it's just so they don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the tricky things for me, anyways. Do you have any recommendation, any suggestion on that?
Well, you want to go ahead, Eric, and then I'll jump in.
Well, I was just going to say, and that's a great question because everybody approaches this differently. And what I've tried to do from the beginning of this, because, and if anybody knows me, my biggest thing is trying to create the relationships with those that are coming on board. And so I look at them as if they don't know anything about crypto whatsoever, nothing. I mean, and they may know a lot about crypto, but I just approach it very simply. And what I've been doing is just doing that 3-minute kind of a teaser video, that Travis does, walking around the oil well and so on. And what that does is it's kind of an icebreaker. It kind of breaks that ice with people. It's short enough that people are willing to watch it. And then they can then respond at that point, however they want to. And what myself and Doug have done for us is, if somebody contacts me or if somebody contacts him, we've done exactly, we just duplicate the same thing that each of us are doing. And what we've been able to do is just do the icebreaker 3-minute video. And there's a 3-minute really short presentation video as well that I send to people that the company had created that talked a little bit about Debtbox and a little bit, it was an animated 3-minute presentation, if you guys have seen that or not. So I added that to it as well. And I've had probably about an 80% success rate of people responding back and saying, hey, I'm interested in this. I like this. And then what I do from that point is I simply get on Messenger and I'll contact Doug and say, hey, Doug, I'd like to introduce you to so-and-so. They are interested in learning more about what we're doing. Let's schedule a Zoom call together. And that's worked out well, because then immediately when somebody's come in, I've introduced them now to Doug, which then Doug creates validation in what I'm talking about. And then when we get on the Zoom call, they already know who me and Doug are when we get on the call with them. And I would say right now, Doug, we have about 100% closing ratio, don't we? I would say we're 100%.
Well,
We do between 1 to 2 signups together, working together right now. We've been doing this day after day after day, grinding. And we just keep it simple. That's the whole thing. Then we allow them just to answer the questions. We're not high pressure by any mean when people are coming on. We just simply tell them what we're doing, show them what we're doing, and we're just extremely transparent, just to keep it, we don't make any guarantees or anything like that. We just keep it very simple. Why we got involved and what we would like to have, in the long run with this. So, and that's how we approach it. And, we step people through the process. My biggest thing when I get them on, I'll keep it simple. I'll be like, okay, where are you at financially now? I'll say, I'm not a financial advisor, but where are you at right now? And what can we do to help you get to your goal? And then I know after when they answer that, what to send them. Because if they say, you know what, I want to come into this and I want to build a business, my approach is different than it is with somebody coming on board saying, hey, I don't want to do the business right now. I just want to be able to get in and utilize the products. Wonderful. We all know that those that get in, if they see how the products are, where I was falling on my face, you guys, I'd have people join and not get any nodes. When I first got in, I had to spend $3,000-$4,000 to buy a node, just to see how it would work. And now we've got a big advantage because we have the micro nodes. So now people can get in for a very small amount of money. They can see how it all works. And then that triggers something in them. All of a sudden they now are reaching back out to us and saying, hey, you guys, you know what? I've got so-and-so. I didn't want to build a business, but I got this person, this person, this person. And I've got a perfect person that's on this call right now. His name's Casey. Right, Casey? Casey was that way at the beginning. He's like, man, I don't want to build this business. I don't know how to do it. But all of a sudden, I've got this person, this person, this person, that person, this person. Now all of a sudden, Casey's got a exploding business that's going on for himself. So I got to give him some props on that. But it happens. Something triggers in this when people see the product actually working and they can show people it. And that's just that, keeping it very simple, step-by-step process, and it works. But that's just my thoughts on that question you had there.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I'd like to answer that too, because one of my accountabilities at my magazines over the years has been managing the websites and the website development. And years ago, somebody came up with an expression in website development and architecture that a confused mind says no. Right? So they just do. If they get confused, it's just a no and they're out. So you have to just simplify. And one of the things that's really been exciting the last couple of weeks is really getting my head around how to simplify this. So when I get a chance to talk to somebody, I just quickly explain the difference between the two companies. Once the product, the mining, and the 15 years in the background, really quick. And then I kind of go right to the micros and the $250, what a great deal it is. Put it on a credit card. You don't need to know about crypto, because that's what most of the people they're going to be talking to don't know about crypto. And the crypto and wallets and exchanges and all that, that's a block we need to get over with this. So we've just removed that completely. We just don't even really get into all that. Say, you're buying mining software, but it's hands off. You don't have to upgrade it, do anything with it. And so we just get people in and we spend our time onboarding them and getting them all set up where they've got the debt box on their computer. They've got the debt box on their phone. Everything is working. And again, when you go in there, you put that 5X micro package on a credit card. It's bing, 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 and they're in. And then we can move right into the onboarding and they're in business. So then over the next, 3 months, 6 months, 3 years, we can really have time to talk to them more about the intricacies of the things that they might be interested, where they do want to drill down a little bit, but not up front at all. We just keep it as simple as absolutely possible. And that this new credit card thing with 5X, where you're qualified at 80 BV to start building your business and making some commission, that's all they need to know, and they're in. So that's
The credit card thing definitely helps out, makes it a lot
Big
faster.
time.
Because one of the problem before was, you got somebody new, and I'm like, okay, well, now you don't have an account. Now you got to open up Binance. Well, now they got to money from, their bank account to Binance. Oh, guess what? Now we got to wait another week before you can even send the money to
Yep.
buy these things. So
Yeah,
that's definitely, the credit card helps out a lot.
that has changed everything on this side with the micros, with the credit cards. And in my conversations with corporate and some different things, from what I've been told, as time goes, they're going to implement the credit card side to everything, including the larger dollar amounts for the nodes themselves. So I think that will take time, and there's going to be multiple options than just one process side. There's going to be others as well. And when they launch all the other, the debt card and the Bank of Scotland and all that stuff, that's really going to open up the door a lot more in all of that. And that should make everything a lot easier for everyone at that point. But yes, them doing what they have done with just that one small thing has allowed us to be able to open the door to a whole gamut of other people and made it a whole lot easier for sure.
You were talking about the animated video. Is that the one that was in the debt
Yes.
the website? I know
Yes,
there was
it's about 3 minutes long. It's kind of animated. It talks a little bit about the ecosystem and the products and stuff. I'm more than happy. I'll get it out to Sarah and everyone so that they can do it. I like it. I like it a lot because it was something. Let me tell you why I like it. It was something that was created by the company under compliance. They created it, and then I can get that out there to the masses of people, and they can't see anything because I didn't create it. Okay. And that's one thing that I have I've talked to a lot of people about of the owner side is they need to create more videos and content that we can lean on that is corporate approved. And I love the animated side because why I like that is because it takes away anybody else standing out from anybody else. What it is just something that you can send to people, and it's just a duplication over and over again. And I think the company, in my conversations with them, there will be more content. Debtbox, and when we were in the DR, there was some neat videos that were shared with us. Sarah saw them. Kevin was there, and there were some neat videos that Debtbox has put out, and that's in the app. Okay, so that's in the BizOp app. I think that some of those we should be able to have access to download them so we can get them to our groups because they're a corporate video that shows the aluminum mines, that shows some of these other, the Grow project. I mean, unless you were in the DR, you don't realize, nobody realizes how big the Grow project is. I had no idea, you guys. I mean, we hear about Grow and, somebody can get on and they can talk about it. But until you see the videos of what they were showing and how it's all being put together and the other products that are coming in and that they're launching, and this is this product and how it's helping the local community there, man, those videos were maybe 4 minutes, 3-4 minutes long, not real long, but they really shared each project that they were going through. And I like that because it's corporate approved and it's compliant, and that's what we can create to send to people. So I think that all of that is coming in time. Some of it right now is in the app, but I think that that's going to become, then we can just duplicate that all together.
Okay. Yeah, I saw a couple of those before, and they were very professional. They were very interesting the way they're laid out. So I never even thought about that. I didn't know how you can even get that video. Just it's in the website, but in the app, huh?
The BizPro.
From BizPro.
Yeah, the BizPro, it has a majority of them are in there. Unless you have the paid version, you can't download them. So the paid version allows you to be able to download them and then send them to people. But if you have the free version, you can't do that.
Yeah, I got the paid version. Just
Okay,
every time
good.
I've gone in it, it's like I don't know if it feels like I'm missing something. It seems,
Well, you can even email them to, excuse me, what I did when I first got in is I actually, before they had the download section, I just put my email in. I put me as somebody that was interested. And so I just put the email in, and then I started sending them to myself. And then I had the link that I could send to people. That's what I did.
A great idea.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
I'll shut up. I'm sure other people have questions.
Oh, I'm glad you're interacting for sure. That's great.
So I just want to say, because I was going to say what I was going to do before I hit send and then accidentally hit send. But I posted in the chat if you want to look at what we're sending to people when we onboard. So we just put all the important links because part of what we want to do and part of the getting people just put it on your credit card, $250, you're in, this is how you mine, start looking at your app. But we also want to get them on the Facebook and the Telegrams. And so we just have this, I save it in a text file and I send this as part of the onboarding. So you could just grab this and switch out if you use a different Telegram group or something but anyway, so this is, if you want to grab this and just tweak it a little bit, it's just anything you can do to automate and streamline and get people engaged and participating. And again, that's some of why we want to do these calls is engagement. So yeah, it'd be great to hear from some other people what you'd like to see us, cover on these calls. Sort of what's missing for you or anything.
Even what's working for you.
Well,
We'd like to hear what's working for you guys that we can share with others and we can, have you involved in the videos because something that you may be doing is different than we're doing and it may be working extremely well for you.
Yes, I'm going to put you on the spot. Anything you want to share about what you're doing that's working? Because you're really on a roll as well.
She's cranking. Yeah.
No, I just really, I listened to Travis's training and, I'm following that big time. It was like the second, I don't know what he's calling it now. Sorry, my camera's going crazy. Where he's doing once a month. I'm doing that. And, because I've been in sales pretty much the past 8 years, you've got to get those little micros now that I call them because the micro nodes, got to get those little micro yeses. So, you ask, can I send you a video? And if they say yes, that's one more step and if they don't answer you, you don't send it anyway.
Right.
So, I also am really OCD. I have this is like, I have sticky notes over here, like Travis said. And so I know who's kind of on my radar and I just have to check in with them. And I also, because I forget a lot to reach out to them again, I put it on my calendar. So if I reach out, like this one is Matt Emersley, he is going to come in. However, I've got to keep reaching out to him and I've got to put it on my calendar so that when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, okay, I have to contact Matt instead of, on a piece of paper somewhere or a list somewhere. So this is kind of my list. And then I have another thing over there that once they're in, I move it over there to, they got in and things like that. So, but just using his script. And I mean, I played that video back over and over and I wrote it down exactly what he says. And also I'll say, and I've been teaching my team this as well, the voice messages work much better than Facebook messaging them typing. They want to hear your voice and know that you're real because there's so many scams out there that if they hear you and and things like that. So it's just, and I'm kind of an island out here by myself. So, I'll be willing to help anybody, that wants to learn about this or learn about, how to recruit and stuff like that. I've been in network marketing for over 30 years. So I didn't learn all this stuff really until about the last 2 years. And then Travis has just elevated me more. So, and it's also between here, guys. Sorry.
Absolutely.
Mindset.
Yeah, it's between, it's believing in yourself and just saying, just like I said with Matt, he will come in.
Yeah.
It might be 6 months, but he is going to join us. So.
Yeah, and there's a thing I kind of follow. There's another group that does marketing online and stuff. And the one guy on there, he's like, listen, he goes, you have to touch people up to 8 times. 8 times. And I've learned, I've been kind of the guy because I get so many leads. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Okay, great. Okay, click. And then I go to the next one. Hey, and I don't follow up like I should. And so I'm creating now my little follow-up schedule. So I've got I wait a couple of days and then I just do a follow-up. Hey, I sent you the videos. Did you get a chance to watch them? No, I didn't yet. Thanks for reminding me. That's what I get a lot of. Hey, thanks for reminding me about that. I'm interested in it. I promise I'll watch them. And literally, if I do that, then boy, and they say, hey, I promise I'll watch them and get back with you. They usually do. They usually at that point will. But I like the idea on the voice message. That's a great point because I don't do enough of that. And I think that, you're right, because there's too many people. There's so many scams going. I don't know about you guys, but I get stuck. Hey, check this out. And I don't know whether it's a real person or not, but if it was a voice message, yeah, then I would. Yeah, that's a really good one. So, hey, yeah, I'll do more of that. That's for sure.
That was fantastic. Thank you. I 100% believe in permission-based marketing, Catherine. So I agree 100% with that one, asking and then sending the links, not just spamming the links and sending it out to a bunch of people, because
Yep.
you do have a better response that way. I don't know if my husband, Kevin, are you able to unmute yourself or if you're still with us? Because Kevin has a really good way of taking, I guess, kind of flipping the script. When people reach out to him to try to pitch him strangers and they friend request him, he has a really great way of turning it around and creating a really quick relationship and showing them the opportunity. And we've had some really great turnouts because of that. I don't know, Kevin, can you unmute yourself?
No, I'm not allowed to. Everybody hear me?
Yes,
Awesome. Yeah, what I realized, and Doug and Eric really touched on this, and Amelia and Suzette, is that keeping it simple is something that in the beginning of my career in this industry, I never, honestly, I didn't believe in it. I thought that everybody wanted the version that you wanted. I thought that everybody needed the version that you desired. And to be honest, I'm just wired differently. I want the complex version. I want to be overwhelmed with information. I want to archive information. We all have to realize that we are all entrepreneurs here. And we are just wired a little bit differently than the rest of society. That being said, I hate saying this, but we kind of have to dumb it down for people. I'll give you an example for somebody today. So this isn't, too typical, but sometimes this happens. So my wife and I have been talking to a friend of ours in Canada. Her name's Tabitha. I'm going to try to find this message. I want to read to you kind of, there it is. Okay. So today I just followed up, and I followed up because, I didn't think she was retaining the information that well. And I said, today's the day, because the 18 micronodes, if this doesn't do it, I don't know what will, right? So I reached out to her about it. And she said, look, I watched the video way back, but this is still like Greek to me, just very, she doesn't understand it. She said, it sounds interesting though, but I definitely don't understand it. And all of you are so fluent in it. So obviously the approach we had before might have been overwhelming. We're using big words. We're all just kind of, this is crypto. And so sometimes not everybody understands what this is. So she said, so if you could explain more, that would help. I said, okay, I'm going to ask you a few questions. Questions are the best because it literally will allow the prospect to draw their own conclusion on their own, which is amazing. And so I said, okay, I'm going to ask you a few questions. I said, I'm going to make this easy for you to understand. I said, Tabitha, you are in real estate, right? Because she is. And she said, yes. I said, okay, as you already know, a house or property is an asset. It's a commodity, something of intrinsic and tangible value. It's worth it's worth great and value. It's valuable to everyone. She's like, yes, I follow that. I said, okay, good. I said, now we only deal with commodities. We only deal in commodities and assets, things that are backed by, and then I said, black gold, oil, nat G, natural gas, aluminum, blocks, real estate, drip, water, grow, high yielding agriculture, explorer, satellite technology, DLG, gold, beverage industry, etc. I said, wouldn't you agree that all of these are some of the most valuable assets known, used, and consumed by humanity? And she said, I pretty much said, without these things, we'd still be living in the Stone Age. She said, yes, they definitely are. I said, okay, We are investing in cryptocurrency that is directly backed by these commodities, and we get paid royalties perpetually for life. You make money 24/7, 365 days a year. This is very easy stuff to understand, and I'm guiding her through this so she can see the story. I'm saying, because we own the asset, we get paid for life on that asset. Everything from scanning the earth, identifying the asset, extracting the asset, storing the asset, selling the asset, etc. We get paid royalties on everything for life. She totally understood that. And finally, just because today, she got it. So at the end of the day, if somebody doesn't understand it, what we really are doing, guys, is we are investing in assets. We are investing in commodities.
Yep.
And these are the commodities and assets that we personally own, and we can show for it. I mean, we can literally show people on our phone, app, screenshot, whatever it is, how we are mining these rewards every
This
step
meeting is
of the
being
day.
recorded.
Go ahead, sorry. Oh, is that a mishap?
Yes.
Gotcha. And once you show that, and you don't need to do that, but it's powerful because people can see that it's real. And so not everybody understands what a royalty is. Not everybody's in business like that. But all we need to know, and everybody else needs to know, is that when you buy one of these commodities, you're getting paid the royalties from everything from start to finish. And that is easy to understand. If we keep that simple and we keep it that simple, people will understand this and be like, you know something? I definitely want to get my hands on some commodities, because at the end of the day, everything else can fail. And when in doubt, just commodities. Commodities will always be there. They will always have value. And that is the currency we want in our hands.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's just a tidbit, a little drawn out, but that's just that right there. As long as we just kind of hit on that point, everybody's going to understand this. And then we could just kind of, take them through the steps. And Eric, I was talking to Eric about a week and a half ago, and he brought up, actually, in Punta Cana, he said he was bringing up some amazing points about having a system, like a 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. step, to let people know that, hey, look, this is what you do, this is what you do, this is what you do, so nobody gets confused.
Yeah, that's kind of what we've created on our own, just with our own little messages, with videos and stuff. Step 1, this. Step 2, this. Step 3, this. Going into my step 2 is adding people to, I call it the incubator group. It's the Facebook group where anybody can be part of it and just see what we're doing, and then tagging people into it. So yeah, it's just the step 1, do this, step 2. And it, like I say, it works for some, it works for us. And I think that, the more we can kind of work with that, and with all of us as a team as well, with everybody, and your guys' ideas and everything, I think, it's going to really help everyone here. Any other questions? Any questions about the nodes themselves, the products?
Who was saying a confused mind? Is that you, Doug?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. That is, I've heard that before, and that is absolutely 1000% true. It causes analysis paralysis.
It does.
Like, you know what I mean? I mean, I'm guilty of it. I used to do it in the beginning, and I didn't think less was more, like I said. And I had to learn the hard way to really understand what people want. A human being's attention span is less than a cockroach, and I think that's a scientific fact. And that's the truth, man. I mean, we need things now. We live in a society where everything's fast food and do that and fast and delivery. I mean, unfortunately, kids these days, especially, they're just not patient. They want immediate gratification. So you know what? Let's give it to them. If that's what it takes, then let's do it. Now, for us old farts, maybe we need the long story sometimes. But I'm just saying. But yeah, it's just keep it simple always.
And I noticed that, Kevin, what you're talking about, even with people when we bring them on board, because other network, people in other companies and different things like that, they all want, they want the fast money. They want the the riches overnight, they want to do this and I have to slow them down and say, what we're doing is completely different than anything you've ever done before. Yes, there is a business side to this, but how many products out there can you set up that's going to sit there and pay you 24 hours a day? There's nothing else out there, you guys, without doing any work, very little. So, you have to slow them down so they can really see the vision and understand this when they roll into this thing, because they come in and they're like, wait a minute, I'm going to set one of these up and I'm going to make $1,000 tomorrow. It's not how this works. It's set it up, taking those first steps, stacking the coins, and allow the projects to grow, allow them to start to take seed and grow with the company. Then that's where, Travis always says, you're not going to be rich overnight in this, but you can be rich over time in this, and I believe in that because I've been part of things like that. We talk to me and Doug all the time when we're on the calls. If you could take $1,000 and go back 10 years, would you put it in Bitcoin? Yes.
Yeah.
You guys, that is a deal. So I'm like, okay, so if you have that mindset with Bitcoin, why wouldn't you have that $1,000 mindset with this?
Especially this.
And people are like, yeah, exactly. Especially this, when Bitcoin really doesn't have a utility side to the whole thing other than, transfer money around. But with this, you can put $1,000. Wouldn't you want to take that chance into this as well? And honestly, Doug, everyone's like, yes, I'd like to do that. Okay, great. Let's get you started. We don't even give them a chance after that. Once they say yes, okay, great. Let's get you started then. Then we take them through the way to do it.
Well, you know what? Go ahead, Catherine Ann.
I just so y'all know, I'm a business and leadership coach. And so something else that I make people really think about, and that I say to them, I say to them, do you have a 401k? And most people that I'm talking to is not not my 18-year-old. And so they've been to a job, and I said, I find it interesting that you, as well as myself, because I put myself in their position so that we can connect. I said, we'll trust a company for 18 years, 10 years, 5 years, whatever it is, to take a chunk of our paycheck and invest it, and we never hear from them. And then I say, I have a financial advisor. I hear from him once a quarter. So that's every 3 months, because you got to tell them what a quarter is.
Yep.
I treat them like they're in third grade, because that's the mental stability of all of us. And I said, once a quarter, I get a report. And if it's up or down, I look at it, I see it's up, I see it's down, and I move on. So why are you not going to trust yourself with doing an investment that you get to watch on a daily, which I don't suggest, but on a weekly or monthly basis? And then they're like, oh. And so then I go in and they're like, well, I just don't do it. And I said, yeah, that's because the government has trained us that way. And then y'all can share this story as well if you want to, because stories sell, and they,
Yeah.
My husband was with the company for 18 years, and a month ago, he got laid off. 18 years, he was at the top hung, and his bosses were shocked. Everybody was shocked that he got laid off, and they were so mad about it. But what it came down to was they could hire 3 people for what they paid him.
Wow.
And so they didn't care. It was a Thursday. He didn't see it coming. He came downstairs and he goes, I guess we're moving before we thought we were moving. And I go, what are you talking about? And he goes, I just got laid off. He had no idea. His bosses had no idea. It came from way up. 18 years with United Healthcare.
Wow.
Jeez.
And
Right. Yeah. Got to have a plan B
yeah.
now.
And,
Mhm.
and the best thing that I was able to say to him is, I got us, don't worry about it. And he was like, what? And I go, because he has no idea what I do. He didn't care. He's just like, whatever, he's like, stop buying notes, because I know you're spending all the money. But, it was nice to say, I got you. And I wouldn't have been able to do it if it wasn't for this crypto space.
Mhm.
So.
Yeah, I remember having that conversation with you, and she, what she did when she contacted me, I remember she did. She said, I got you. and she had a whole plan laid out. She had the whole plan. And I was just like, she's like, I got to do this. And then I got to get more people in. And I got the business side. I got to get this note. I got to get, and she had it all laid out. And, you know, today, congratulations, Catherine, and you ranked up, you
Yep.
know,
Exactly.
and she said, yeah, she sent me the message, and I was just like, congratulations, you did what you said you were going to do. And I mean, it was a big rank up for her, which is amazing, because I know what she's done from when she started to where she is now. In another 30 days, what is she going to do now? You know what I mean? So, and yeah, so hats off to you on that, Catherine, and I think it's great.
Say the people that are just starting, and I'm going to be very transparent with you. I don't have anybody really building. I mean, I don't have an upline that's working it. So I'm kind of out there on an island. And so if I can create this with nobody putting anybody under me at this point, all of you out there can do this.
Yep.
If you get focused and you say, I'm going to talk to one person a day. I'm going to talk to them about the business and write it out. And we're learning this. If you're not in the CEO challenge, I challenge you to go and get in the CEO challenge, write it out, you know, write out what you're going to do and then stick to it for 90 days. Just stick to it.
Catherine.
And it's Catherine Ann. Y'all better call me Catherine.
Catherine Ann.
Every time. I did that to Travis the other day and he looked at me like he was like,
Catherine Ann.
yes.
So what you're saying, this is so crazy, because when we first came into this, I swear to God, it was really like just dipping our toes in the water, had no idea what the hell this was, but it came from Travis, and that was good enough. And I knew it was real, and that's all I need to know. And I haven't regretted my decision. It really was until I started to, it was like the light bulbs went off finally. And I'm like, because, oh, this is funny. When I was telling Amelia and Suzette about this in the beginning, and I just made my investment, they're like, so Kev, like, how are you liking this? How are you loving this? And I was totally honest with them. I said, oh, you know, it's nothing I would ever do the business with. But I'm just I love earning my money daily. And they're like, oh, interesting. I think they got it before I did. And it kind of took them saying, like, Kevin, and Amelia and Suzette were like, do you kind of know what you have your hands on right now? And I'm like, yeah, pretty much. And they're like, but are you sure? And I was like, and I said, I think so. They're like, well, and he just broke it down. He just got it immediately. I know nothing about this type of stuff. And it was really until the light bulbs started going off in my head. I'm like, holy crap. And then I just went on a mission. I started telling everybody. And within like the first month, not even first month, first week of just telling people and just being excited about it and just speaking the bare minimum about it, I guess you can call that ignorance on fire,
Right.
you know, not really understanding what the hell you're talking about, but everybody else feels it. People were, you know, they came in with, what would you guys come in with? Starting like 49K or something? What did you, they came in with like,
Well, at least, yes, 40, maybe 50.
guys, that was, come on, and then people are putting in 10K and then 20K and then 50K, 75K, 100K. And I'm like, okay, timeout. I've never ever seen anything like this before. First of all, I'm not selling anything. I'm just sharing something that I just did. On top of that, I'm getting paid commissions. It feels great. It's organic. And I'm just like, I will never believe another person when they say they don't have money, because I've been doing high ticket, you know,
Absolutely.
medical device sales for years now, and we've made great money with it. And we love these machines and people love them too. And let me tell you, but you know, for some people that say, oh, we can't afford that. Look, what I've learned, guys, this is probably one of the most important thing that we might be able to take away from this tonight is people put a budget on things that they categorize things. They categorize supplements. They categorize, buying a car. They categorize like what they could put a budget on. The moment you tell them about this, I'm not kidding this, and I don't ever recommend this. I'm not encouraging this. People just figure it out on their own. They do the math. It's simple math. They're liquidating their assets. They are going into their stock market. They're pulling out. They're taking a huge chunk of it. They are going to their retirement because everybody's losing so much gosh darn money in their retirement. They would rather put their money before it's all gone to a place that's going to generate them, you know, an income producing asset. That's what this is. Now, not to say, look, Eric, to your point, when you said, look, you know, look at this more long term. Absolutely. I think 100% of everybody doing this realistically should come in with that expectation. However, there is a way, there are ways. This is not so typical because not everybody can do this. But if you have a nice chunk of money, you can actually get cash flow now. You can actually make a monthly income now while you're sitting on your fortune waiting for it to pop. I'm just saying there's so many different options here. And again, we're not financial advisors. This is we're not, you know, we're just sharing with people what we do, kind of letting them see the light. And but again, it is easy to learn once you kind of get it down.
Yep,
Yep.
I 100% agree.
Does anybody else have anything to offer? I think that this is going so great, but I don't want it to go on too long.
Agree. We'll meet next week. Yeah, anybody else just want to say hello or where you're, you know, where you're calling in from or anything like that hasn't shared? If not, it's fine too.
Evan Shabbat, Hillsboro, Oregon.
Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate that.
Somebody new, somebody new.
Okay.
Carolyn, Peg, Canada. I wish I got on here earlier. It's very interesting being in the background and listening to all these tidbits. Kevin, I loved your story. Really loved your story. Asking questions is huge, and they seem to talk themselves into or answer the questions that leads them to the water. You know, lead them to the gold.
Yep.
Excellent story. Asking questions, big time.
Yeah, agreed.
Let the people draw their own conclusion. It's the best strategy, and it's the most genuine and sincere way to go about it.
And it is, you know, if you're genuine and you're sharing your, you know, your personal opinion on stuff, and I do this today, a gentleman that I've known for a while, and I'll just share this with you, what's going on with him. And it's interesting because him and his wife have been saving money to build a home. Is really what they want to do, and is to buy a lot that they've been waiting on, and it's a couple $100,000 they've been able to save up. And you know, he wanted to run the numbers because everybody's got a plan, everybody's got a different plan, and they know that they probably wouldn't be able to build for 5 years, but they wanted to lock up the lot. And I started kind of sharing a little bit of how I got into this, at what level and stuff, and he's all like, if I put $200,000 down on this lot and secure this lot, he goes, I know the lot's going to be there because it's kind of a rural area and everything. It's not going away, you know, and nobody knows that it's out there. He goes, but I can put that money into this, because we were talking about DCM, what DCM's doing. He's like, I could park that money into this and look at a 5-year period with this. He goes, based on what we've talked about and the potentials and things like that, he goes, I could literally pay cash in a 5-year period, the way the growth is right now.
Yep.
And have that money working for me versus tying it up into that lot that he's just going to sit on. And he goes, I need that money working for me anyway. And so that's the commitment he's made for himself. And so he's going to go that direction. But you know what, that would not have happened, because I've known him a while. That would not have happened if it wasn't for this. It got his brain thinking. And he's like, he said, he goes, I've literally lost sleep laying in bed at nights thinking about this, because I don't want to miss out on these opportunities. And so my point in saying this, you guys, we don't know unless we talk to people about this or around us, we don't know what their answer is going to be. And this gentleman is the last person in the world I would think that would be very, very conservative, wanting to come into something like this. And now he's thinking, he's like, my gosh, this is an answer to a lot of prayers from my family right now, because we need this. And so, you know, the 3 things I talked to him about: 1, it generates daily, you know, the coin itself for future value. Two, it opened up the business opportunity for him because he did talk about that, which was blew my mind. And three was it generates an asset, you know, within the company, in the system itself as an NFT. You know, I don't know what DCM, I'm big on NatG. I don't know what DCM is going to do on the NFT side, but if anything, I think it's going to be a massive deal. So that's kind of the way he was looking at it as well with those funds. So that was a conversation that took place today. I thought I would share that with you guys as well, because like I say, you don't know who you're around. and he watches me on Facebook is what happened. He's like, what is this? What is this 18 nodes you're talking? I don't understand any of this. He goes, he's like, I had to Google what a node was. I didn't understand what a node is. And then he contacted me. He's like, well, you know, teach me. And so that's why that whole conversation took place today. But I thought it was quite interesting.
If you knowed, you knowed.
If you knowed, you knowed. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't, like I say, I posted something on Facebook to 18 nodes, right? And he's been laying in bed losing sleep over it.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until I talked to him today. So kind of interesting.
I have one more thing to add. Remember when Kevin said, don't believe people when they say they have no money. So Kevin and Sarah shared this opportunity with me. When was it? Was it this? It was this year, right, Kevin and Sarah?
Couple months ago, yeah, a couple
Yes.
months ago.
Okay. And I said, you guys, I have no money. Like I am like flatline in the money department, right? But it intrigued me, this opportunity, and I'm going, oh, like I want so badly to come in. So, but anyway, they didn't give up on me. But what happened is I was able to scrape up some money and got myself rentals and get my feet in at least, right?
Yeah.
And then what happened is, you know, Sarah touched base with me a couple days ago and told me about this special with the micronotes, the 18. And I mean, right away I saw the 250 and the 500, and my eyes were like bullseye onto the 18, right? Because I had some US cash in my account and I withdrew it about 6 weeks ago, and I was just kind of sitting on it for, you know, a rainy day. Well, I got excited because, okay, I say I had no money, but the opportunity by being in the game and just watching things, you find sometimes the money is there and you go, oh my God, I can put it into this. And that's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
I got really, I did it. So basically what I'm trying to say is just talk to people, because once they've seen this, they're not going to forget. If they have any kind of brain cells, okay, upstairs, they're not going to be able to sleep. They're going to have, and by keeping in touch with them, tapping them on the shoulder, right?
Yep.
It's going to happen. So big takeaway there. Don't give up on people and don't believe them when they say they have no money, because you just don't know,
Never know.
right?
Carolyn,
You
you know,
never-
that is so true. And you know what I've learned? You know, when you follow up with people, some people are afraid of doing that. But I'll tell you what, if you don't follow up with somebody's going to be like, I wasn't that important to them, I guess. And that's the truth. If somebody didn't follow up with me, I'd be like, oh, what the hell was that for? You know,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, there is a fact. People are willing to do something smaller before they do something bigger. If all we ever had to do was to just get people's toes wet, just to get their feet wet, just a little bit, they will see the value and then they're all in. Sometimes it's much better to do it that way if somebody doesn't truly understand what this is. And that's actually how I came into this. I had to get my feet wet.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's how hungry
Yeah.
you are.
Yeah, I just brought somebody in that is homeless and lives in her car.
Wow.
Wow.
Right.
Wow. Top three.
And she found she didn't do the 250, but she found the 150 for the micronotes.
Wow.
Because, you know, and so you've got to paint the vision for the people and what they want, not today. What is their life going to look like in
Yeah.
3 years?
Mhm.
And I painted the vision for her, and you know, we set out a plan, thanks to Eric kind of helped me. We set out a plan that her first plan is to get into a hotel and have a bed to sleep in.
Yep.
Wow.
Ew.
That's
I remember that. That was absolutely the first conversation we had. She has to get out of her car.
Right,
So the first step is making enough money so she can get a hotel room for like a week and then keep doing it. But yes, and she's gonna have an amazing story when
Oh,
she goes to one of these events.
yeah,
That's what's gonna happen. She's gonna stand up there and give her story. And I'm excited to see that
yeah.
because she is determined to make this work in a massive way. So
So I know that we're going on about 10 o'clock now on the
Yeah.
East Coast, so I feel like we should wrap this up. I know some people have to get up early and go to work in the morning. I think this was a fantastic call. I think we got a good feel for how these are gonna go on a weekly basis. I'm really excited for them. I encourage you guys to let your teams know about these if you haven't already and encourage them to hop on with us. We will record them weekly. We'll make sure they're up on a YouTube so we all have access to them. But I just want to thank all of you guys for hopping on here tonight with us, and Doug, Eric, or Kevin, if anybody else has anything to add in to kind of wrap it up, please feel free to.
Hey, can I
Oh,
say something? I'm
Well,
sorry.
Yeah, Denise, go ahead, please.
Hi, I'm Denise.
Denise.
Denise is on our team
okay, great.
and she's doing the CEO challenge.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, claps. I just wanted to introduce myself and listen to the stories, and I'm amazed. And that's one of my thing is how to reach out to people. So I learned so much, and thank you for inviting me in the group. And I will definitely, if I get another invite, I will make it a mission to come on. And I love the way you guys put it out there to let them ask questions. I got good notes. So
Good.
thank you. Keep up the good work. Another good team.
All right. Denise.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. So, I just want to say, it's sort of in closing, I want to thank everybody for coming on as well. We really appreciate it. And we'll grow this from here. And the more people we have, the more lively and useful the conversation will get. But I want to just put a pitch in for three-way calls and partnerships. And I'll talk about how that works and the value of doing that on the next call or a future call.
That's
So,
Great.
Yeah, we have some cool things that we're gonna share. I've got a few things as well that have been on the side that have been working to get leads, basically.
I'm
People
excited.
from not just like Facebook and stuff, but just other ways of getting people interested. So I will share some of that too on some of these
Nice.
next ones.
That's going to be big. That's going to be
Yeah.
big.
Yeah, we need that.
I definitely need that.
I'm gonna stop recording here.
okay.
Right.